The issue at hand, which was to be ascertained, was the issue of aflatoxins. Because as you are aware, the reason for impounding these trucks was that they had high levels of aflatoxins, which were beyond the acceptable limit. Summary of results, so details of results now for the 23 trucks. Of the 23 trucks, we had 8 of the trucks carrying consignment of maize grains. 8 trucks were carrying consignment of maize grains. However, four of the 8 trucks failed because of having the highest level of aflatoxins. So the maize grains are the seeds. So you can see the vulnerability of maize grain. It was almost that 4 of the trucks, 4 of the consignment failed the aflatoxin test. Of the 12 consignment of milled maize, this is maize flour, the portion. We had 12 consignments of portion, only 1 failed. So therefore that shows you that when value addition is done on our maize grain, it minimizes the level of failure, okay? Because you can see the proportion of the maize grain, the seed, almost 50% failed because 4 trucks out of 8 had high levels of aflatoxins. But on the maize flour, the milled ones, you have 1 out of 12, meaning that you actually minimize the risk of failure of this maize grain by adding value through milling. So that's basically what it tells you. Then we had 2 consignments of beans. All of them passed. The aflatoxin levels were within the acceptable levels. Then we had 3 consignments of sorghum. They all passed. They were within the acceptable limits of the standard. Then we had 1 consignment of millet grain. Also passed because it was within the acceptable level of the standard. And finally, we had 1 consignment of cassava flour, which also passed because it was within the acceptable levels of the standard. Therefore, of the 27 consignment samples and tested by UNBS, 22 consignment passed. They were within the acceptable levels of aflatoxins and therefore safe for human consumption. Only 5 failed because they failed the standard of the aflatoxin level. Again, as you have seen, the failures were only for majority were maize grain. 4 of the 5 commodities were maize. 1 for maize flour at the UNBS certification, and 1 for maize grain also had a UNBS certification. So meaning that those were actually under valid UNBS permit. But 3 of them were not certified by UNBS, meaning that UNBS, they crossed illegally because every product that is supposed to be certified by UNBS must bear a UNBS certification mark before it crosses the border. So that's why we have seized them and we want to investigate with the owners where did they get this maize or maize flour which did not pass through our hands. But again, as you have heard, going forward, we are going to have an intervention that will require mandatory documentation to prove that UNBS has actually checked those commodities before they go through the border. This will be part of Uganda Revenue Authority document check so that we resolve this going forward. And as I've told you, the initial batch of 26 trucks, of which UNBS has so far analyzed 23, carrying 27 consignments, we have found that of the 27 consignments, which I read to you later on, 22 of them are good for human consumption. So therefore, we are saying that the owners are free to sell them on the domestic market based on that assurance. We will be giving each of those trucks consignment the certificate of analysis to prove that they have been analyzed and confirmed to be safe for human consumption based on our East African. Then the 26 trucks, the 23 trucks, we have results. Now the 66 trucks which are being offloaded at the Elegu border, we are going to separately test them to confirm whether they are still in the good form or good state of what? Of consumption. So we will be communicating to you of the 66 trucks. which ones are still good, which ones are not good. And as you have seen, the good ones we will be releasing, the bad ones will be seizing them, including destruction. But most importantly, we want to learn from this. Where did this come from? And that is the way we want to handle this, so that going forward, this should not reoccur. Okay, the ones which have failed will not leave Elegu border. We are going to seize them and destroy them. They are not fit for human consumption. Okay? So those ones will not even live where they are, because we don't want them to disappear on the way. So we will not allow them to leave Elegu, and they are safely in the hands of URA as we talk now.
What is the lasting solution for this problem? The details have been given, all those have been put in place. What is the lasting solution? And I want to tell you, Ugandans, the lasting solution for this is majorly awareness. Awareness on how to handle products while on the farm, while to handle the products to harvest grains which are ready to be harvested, not to harvest premature grain, because some people have been harvesting premature grain and they want to enter the market. Awareness on handling the granaries. Where did they go? We need to utilize our granaries as we look for government to put warehouses, because the other issue is now on the infrastructure that the government is going to put in place, or it is already putting in place. But the granaries, the issue of granaries is very, very important, because for them they were moisture free. They were handling these grains with moisture free. Now, on the side of government, we are looking at the infrastructure, putting in place warehouses. Most of the warehouses which are there are privately owned. Government is helping in renovating them, putting them under the warehouse and receipt system. And that is also under the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperative. Because some of these agencies, the media also needs to do research. Some of these agencies are under the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. So when you see them performing, it is the ministry performing. And I want to say that we are also looking forward to putting silos. As we construct these border markets, we are putting warehouses, we are putting cold facilities to handle our vegetables and fruits as they go out of the country. Together with the Free Zones Authority, we are putting in place free zones. And these free zones are going to have facilities to handle our products, more especially the grains, and then the fruits and vegetables, so that they reach the market in their freshness for our competitiveness. All this is the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives working. Now the policies in place, the policies are there. We are now graduating from our local policies to the East African policies, the treaty. We are working together with the East African community to make sure that whatever we agree upon here, we are developing regional standards. We are developing standards that are acceptable worldwide, the international standards, so that whatever is allowed here is allowed in East Africa, is allowed in COMESA market, the African Continental Free Trade Area market. And I want to assure you that under the support of the European Union, we are also entering the European market. We are entering the AGOA market together with with a harmonized standard, because they have come down to see the value chain as we trade with them. Our relationship with the Republic of South Sudan is going to remain intact. We have a lot in common. We've fought wars with them. We've struggled to clear the economy with them. We are into the oils with them. We have a lot of deals with South Sudan, and we are going to streamline this. Our presidents are negotiating, our presidents are in talks, and I'm happy that these two presidents are the capable presidents to guide this country. We are going to continue giving you a lot of information as Ugandans, and the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives is ready to work with you to streamline the trade of this country. For God and my country, and God bless you.